Hello and welcome back to my Astronomy Nights. I'm Derek, and in this video we're going to take a look at the constellation Canes Venatici, the hunting dogs. This is represented by two bright stars underneath the handle of the plough in Ursa Major. Even though it only has those two bright stars, the boundary of the constellation is quite extensive, taking up about 1% of the night sky. This, along with the fact that it's away from the plane of the Milky Way, means that it's not a star-rich field within the constellation, but it does have a really good population of galaxies. It has 5 Messier objects within its borders: Messier 51, the Whirlpool Galaxy; Messier 63, the Sunflower Galaxy; that wonderful barred spiral galaxy of Messier 106, and it also has M94, the Croc or cat's eye galaxy. The 5th Messier object then is that beautiful globular cluster Messier 3 down on the southern border of Canes Venatici. In this video I'll take a look at all 5 of the Messier objects, along with some other galaxies that I'm familiar with and have observed or imaged in the past. But to start things out, I'll take a look at the stars within the constellation itself. Firstly, we have Cor Caroli, or Alpha Canem Venaticorum. This is a bright star. It's magnitude 2.8, but it is a double star, with that secondary companion being magnitude 5.8. They have a good separation as well of 18 arc seconds, which is about the diameter of Saturn, so it's easy enough to split them. And you can see that little contrast in colour, one being slightly pale blue and the other one a slight pale yellow pairing. The name Cor Caroli comes from the 17th century, when it was attempted to create a constellation of one star representing the heart of King Charles I of England. But the constellation didn't hang around, but the name for the star has kept its place. But the constellation eventually became known as the hunting dogs of Asterion and Chara, and that Chara name still exists in the name of the beta star of Beta Canem Venaticorum. This is a dimmer star at magnitude 4.25, and there's nothing special about it other than the fact that this is similar to our Sun. It's very close in size, but it's a little older, at 2 billion years older than our Sun, and it's only 27 light years away from us, so it's really interesting to be able to observe it and just think what our Sun looks like if you're observing it from a different solar system nearby in our galaxy. There's one more interesting star to look at, and that's Y Canem Venaticorum, better known as La Superba. This is a wonderful red carbon star that you can observe with the naked eye. It's a variable star and it shines between 4.8 and 5.8 magnitude, so you can pick it up with the naked eye when it's on that higher end of its variable cycle. But if you have optics, you can really pick out that lovely red colour of the star. La Superba is a really large red giant star, and it has a diameter of between 5 and 2.5 AU, and it's literally one of the coolest objects you can observe with the naked eye at a temperature of 3300 Kelvin. It sits 1,000 light years from us, and to find it you just use the alpha and beta stars of Canes Venatici and create an L shape to the north, and you'll be able to spot it with your naked eye or binoculars in that location, just 4 degrees north of Chara, or Beta Canem Venaticorum. So we're going to stay within the Milky Way for the first deep sky target, and that is Messier 3, which is at a distance of 33,900 light years from us. The easiest way to find this is at the southern border of Canes Venatici. The brightest star that's nearby is the beta star of Coma Berenice. If you pinpoint that star, you just need to move 6 degrees to the east of that star and you'll be able to pick up the globular cluster. It's quite bright, so you should see it in your finder. It shines at a magnitude of 6.3 and it has a size of about 18 arc minutes in diameter, depending on the kind of optics you're using as to how many of those stars that you can pick out. This is a really beautiful globular cluster to observe, and I've observed this with my smaller refractor and with my larger instruments, and it comes up really well no matter what you're observing it with. It's just one of those really nice objects to have in the northern sky, and if you're in the summer months, globular clusters really are your friend when you're running out of those hours of perfect darkness, so it's one of those to add to your list for the summer. So the first galaxy I'm going to look at is the Croc Galaxy, which is nearby to the main part of Canes Venatici, and that is M94. This is a wonderful galaxy to observe, but you're really just observing that central portion because that outer ring is quite faint and you can just pull it out in photographs, but with your optics it's a really tricky one to spot. but the center of this galaxy is really bright and very interesting to look at. To pinpoint the galaxy, you just need to make a flat triangle with the alpha and beta stars of Canes Venatici, and it's just about 3 degrees away from both of those stars. You can pick it up quite easy, and it's quite bright. It's a magnitude 8.2 galaxy, and it sits 60 million light years from us with a size of 14 by 12 arc minutes, but you're looking at about half that when you're looking through the eyepiece, because it really is that concentrated core that you will pick up easiest. Next, we'll take a look at Messier 106. This is a wonderful barred spiral galaxy that's close to the Ursa Major border, and it's a really interesting object to look at. It's quite an elongated galaxy in the eyepiece, and you can see some of that center detail when you're observing it. This shines at a magnitude 8.4, and it has a size of about 18 by 7 arc minutes, but the whole galaxy is tilted towards us at about 72 degrees inclination. This was one of the galaxies that was added onto Messier's list in the mid 20th century. It was Helen Sawyer Hogg that suggested this, along with I think M104 and 105 as well, to be added into the catalogue after reviewing some of the galaxies that were discovered by Pierre Marchand. The easiest way to locate Messier 106 is to use 3 Canes Venatici. That's a bright kind of orange star nearby. It's just under 2 degrees away, and I find that that's the easiest one. You can use the stars of Ursa Major to work your way over to 3 Canes Venatici, and then you should be able to pick it up just moving south with your eyepiece. It's a really bright galaxy, so it's an easy one to pick up, and if you're hopping around Ursa Major and Canes Venatici, you can pick up a lot of those Messier objects if you're working your way through that list. After Messier 106, we'll stay with the Messier objects, and we'll take a look at M51, the Whirlpool Galaxy. This one is over near the end of the plough handle in Ursa Major, and that's the easiest way to locate it down, using that star Alkaid. And you can just make a nice little triangle. There's a faint star in between the two that I always use, and I just make a kind of wide flattened triangle, and you can just pick up Messier 51 there. M51 is probably the nicest object to observe in the Northern Hemisphere, and once you know the location of it, you tend to observe it nearly every night you're out observing. It's a fantastic object, and it's really good for telling you how your sky conditions are. If you can pick up a lot of detail, you know that you can go for some really faint objects, and if it's kind of washed out, you know to kind of stay at the wider field of view when you're searching for galaxies. It's got a really nice shape with that grand design spiral structure, and then you have that companion galaxy right beside it of NGC 5195. Messier 51 is also part of ARP's catalogue as ARP 85 along with NGC 5195. The Whirlpool Galaxy has a diameter of about 80,000 light years, and it's at a distance of 31 million light years. It was discovered by Messier himself in 1773, but it wasn't until William Herschel was observing it that he was able to spot that extra galaxy in NGC 5195, that little companion beside it. And William Parsons then in Burr was using the Leviathan telescope, and he was able to sketch that lovely structure of the Whirlpool Galaxy in that famous sketch that we're all kind of familiar with. It's just such a fabulous galaxy to observe when you're on a night out, and if you haven't observed it yet, pick the next new moon. It's going to be right overhead if you're in a northern latitude. It can be a little tricky to move your telescope if you haven't got a powered telescope or a go-to telescope, but it is worth observing when you can get some dark sky. The next object we'll take a look at is the final one of those Messier targets, and that is the Sunflower Galaxy Messier 63. The best way to spot this is to find that halfway point between Cor Caroli and Messier 51, or you can use Alkaid as well, but it's 5 degrees away from Cor Caroli. Again, this isn't a star-rich part of the sky, so star hopping can be a little tricky, so do check up what the field of view of your finder scope is, and you can kind of use that to just cut out those portions along the night sky to find targets such as M63. This is a bright galaxy though, you should be able to pick it up quite well. It's got a magnitude 8.2 and it's large as well, about 12 by 7 arc minutes. But it does have a really quick fall off in that light. You're just kind of looking at that concentration in the arms and the core of the galaxy. It's a very similar size and diameter to the Milky Way. It has a diameter of about 98,000 light years with about 400 million stars within it. It's got a really tight knit core structure, that kind of flocculent effect that it has, and the brightness is all kind of knitted in those close arms in the center, but it does have quite a bit of a fall off, and it does have a bright magnitude 9 star that's sitting right in beside the Galaxy, so that does kind of distract a little bit from the detail within it. But it's a really nice one to observe and to see if you can pick out some of that kind of detailed structure within the Galaxy. So next up, after looking at all those Messier objects, we're going to move to something in the new general catalogue, and that's NGC 4485 and NGC 4490. This is the Cocoon Galaxy and its companion galaxy beside it, and it's probably the easiest galaxy within Canes Venatici to observe or to locate, because it's only half a degree away from Beta Canem Venaticorum. You just have to put that bright star into your finder scope, just move a half a degree to the west, and you'll be able to spot this galaxy right there in your eyepiece. It's really easy to spot, even though it only has a brightness of magnitude 9.75. It picks up really well. It's almost like a brighter galaxy, and it has a really kind of an even structure across the galaxy for observing. It has a size of 6.7 by 1.65 arc minutes, and it sits at a distance of 25 million light years. This pair is also part of ARP's list of peculiar galaxies at number 269. That smaller little companion then is a little dimmer, but you can spot it pretty well. I think that the Cocoon Galaxy really helps you to spot this one, and it's a magnitude 11.88 galaxy, and it's just a size of about 2 by 1.5 arc minutes, similar to that little galaxy that sits near M13 in Hercules, about that size, but a little bit dimmer, but you can pick it up nearly as well because it's beside the Cocoon Galaxy. So the last one I'm going to take a look at is the Whale Galaxy. This is probably one of the best pairs of galaxies you can observe in this part of the sky, and it is the Whale and it is the Hockey Stick Galaxy. They're a wide field pairing, but you can observe them in most wide field eyepieces, and then with your photo setup, this is just outside of my field of view with my 200 PDS with my crop sensor camera. So I was able to use my 82mm to capture this image of both of them. This was really early on. I think this is the second or third image I tried with the QHY camera, and it's just a wonderful galaxy to go for if you get a chance to photograph or observe it. The main component itself is the Whale Galaxy. That's NGC 4631, and that is that really elongated. I thought this looked a lot like an irregular galaxy, but it's actually a spiral galaxy, but we're looking at it from the edge on, and those distortions are caused by interactions with the nearby galaxies. It has a really interesting spot near the core that's got a nice bright mottling to it, and it looks like a really small globular cluster. When you're trying to track down a small globular cluster in your eyepiece, it has that same kind of effect to it at least when I was observing it. It has that little galaxy then nearby it, just tucked in at the bottom. That's another NGC galaxy at 4627. But then the other long one within your field of view, that's known as the Hockey Stick Galaxy. That's NGC 4656. This is a magnitude 10.5 galaxy, and it's really elongated. It's about 15 by 3 arc minutes, and it's really exaggerated then by another little galaxy hanging off the end of it, giving it that look of a hockey stick. These show up really well in the eyepiece. They look very similar to how your photographs come out. Sometimes you can observe spiral galaxies, you're looking more just at the faint structure, and then your photos bring out a huge amount of detail. But with the Whale Galaxy and the Hockey Stick Galaxy, I found that you could see a lot of this detail through your eyepiece that you also pick up in your photograph. These targets that I highlighted were just the ones that I had the chance to image in the past, but there are some other wonderful galaxies you could observe within the boundaries of Canes Venatici, like the Silver Needle Galaxy NGC 4244 or the Box Galaxy NGC 4449. They're just some really nice targets to observe, but I'll be getting back at those next year when the Constellation comes back around. But at the moment I've been using all my time trying to focus on the Cocoon Galaxy, but I just haven't got that run of dark nights to get any more images of these targets in. So it'll be next year again before I get back to try and do the Silver Needle Galaxy or the Box Galaxy. But if you're observing throughout the month of May into June, these are great targets to focus on. And even though you start losing that nighttime length in through June, these galaxies still hang around in the western sky as well, but you just lose that darkness. But M3 is still a great target throughout the summer to observe before it gets too low on the horizon. I hope you enjoyed this video focusing on the constellation of Canes Venatici. It really is one of the nicest parts of the sky to observe in throughout the month of May. So if you get a chance to get out on a dark night and observe some of these targets, do let me know in the comments below. And until next time, clear skies.